Hi, I'm Candy Green. Welcome to Candy's Library of Shareable Tidbits. This is book 37 in our library. I love Advent. It's my favorite time of year. Maybe it's because of all the preparation. You know, the snow is on and the decorations are going up. Maybe because it's the start of the liturgical new year. You know, new year brings new promise and new expectations and possibilities. I remember Bob Stickrath, when the Stickraths were in town, would come in the first Sunday of Advent every year and wish us all a happy new year. Pastor Karen greeted us that way on Sunday. I like that. It's fun. This is my favorite time of year, maybe because of the longing for promises not yet unfolding, longing for the angst and the worry and the anxiety of a tough year to be calmed and resolved. It's my favorite time of year, maybe because it's full of watching and waiting. I don't mind waiting, especially if I know when it ends. I like watching the places where God is active and the people in which God is doing God's work. I don't even mind the juxtaposition of the already and the not yet that Advent brings. You know, Christ has not yet come this year, yet Christ is already at work every day and every year. So I like the preparation and the new year and the longing and the watching and waiting and the themes of the season. But what I love best about Advent are the hymns. Come thou long expected Jesus. You know, the longing is baked right into both the lyrics and the words. O come, Emmanuel. It's a prayer of hope and promise and trust. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. But this rejoicing is almost plaintive. It's interesting, and I love to sing this hymn. Lift up your heads, ye mighty gates. A victorious prayer full of images of the temple and of Jerusalem. You know, the coming of the promised Messiah. Lo, how a rose ere blooming. It uses the symbol of a flower blooming unexpectedly in the darkness and cold of winter to describe the coming of Christ, you know, a surprise in winter. It's beautiful. And the tune has that unusual meter that's interesting and fun to sing. Advent is peppered with a lot of great hymns, but my very favorite is People Look East. Each verse spins out its own symbol. It calls us to get ready for God and to watch and recognize where God is active. The tune is an old French carol. It kind of charges forward and creates its own energy. You remember it, and if you don't, here's a lovely rendition of it. Holy cow. That was the Contodo Singers I'll get the link to you. That's a great rendition, partly because the tempo's right. You know, the tempo we have to keep it up tempo a little bit for it to maintain its energy and its power, the urgency of its call. People look east. The time is near of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. People look east and sing today. Love the guest is on the way. That's the first verse. Love the guest is on the way. The second verse. Love the rose is on the way. Third. Love the star is on the way. And the fourth verse. Love the Lord is on the way. I want to take a look at each of the verses these 4 weeks of Advent. Let's spin them out and dig into the symbols a little bit. This is not a new idea. Carl and I did a sermon series on this hymn 30 years ago. Some of you were around then, but you might not remember much of it. I don't remember much of it. It's all new to me again. This little exploration will be nothing like we did before. Those were full-blown worship services with a whole thematic season. These are tidbits. People look east. The time is near of the crowning of the year. You know, the apex of the year, the height of the year, even the turning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. I love that get ready imagery. People look east and sing today. Love the guest is on the way. You know how it is when you're getting ready for a guest. I want to make sure everything is clean for them in the first place. Clean bathroom, fresh towels. If my guest towels have been in the closet a while, I wash them before the guests arrive so they're fresh. I make their bed with freshly washed sheets. I want to make sure I have their favorite foods on hand. As much as possible, I want to be on their time schedule. Go where they want to go, do what they want to do. Or maybe several guests are coming for a party. I want to make sure there's enough of everything for everyone. Enough plates and cutlery, enough food and drink, enough places to sit, enough festive decor, just enough music to set the tone, but not enough to interrupt the conversation. I've had lots of guests over the years. Getting ready for them is kind of second nature. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. I can do that. But what do we do if we're welcoming God as the guest? I'm not sure God cares too much about whether or not my Christmas tree is up, or all my cloth napkins match, or if I can find enough cloth napkins that don't have stains on them. What do we do to make room in our lives, or even better, the room in our lives, ready for God? How can we be hospitable to God? A part of me wants to tidy everything up, to be more pious and perfect. But I don't think God cares very much about that either. God loves us, mess and imperfections and all. And we may be even more endearing to God. I like to think this. We may be even more endearing to God because we are not all put together. Maybe all we need to do in order to welcome God as the guest is to open the door. There's a certain sense in which the host of the party has all the power, has the control over the event. And the guest is at the mercy of the host. The guest is vulnerable to what the host offers. What if we just open the door of our hearts and then step aside and let God in? Allow God, love, the guest to enter and to do in us more than we can think or imagine. Let love, the guest, make himself at home in us, or even make a home in us. It's Advent. Love, the guest, is on the way. Let's get ready. Well, that's it for book 37 in Candy's Library of Shareable Tidbits. Thanks for coming. See you soon. Grace and peace to you.